Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for January 13th, 2022. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com. We're going to scroll down and look for the Zoom banner. If you would like to be part of Cathy's SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, the information's here. Click through. If you'd like to join her Twitter account, just click right through. It will take you over to her Twitter account where you can see her posts. We'll go back over, join the Zoom call, and monitor your speakers. Lower the volume as the call will be loud. One moment, please.
All right, so here we are. It's 10 o'clock. You see, we're still running from yesterday. Same things. It's very interesting, so let's just let it go. We have a little bit more time, and we haven't even scanned. So that's one of the reasons I like this SRC so much, is it does just this type of thing. It's going to keep going and give us the information we need and do the clearing we need. And Annie suggested yesterday, which I think is an outstanding suggestion, if I can get up here to it now, to take one chakra at a time, make it a theme, and see what comes up. And because we're talking about the subtle bodies, and I just want to share a few thoughts before we go into that.
Do you mean a primary situation or a theme?
What do you think?
Primary situation.
Okay, I like it. I need to get in there and do a list so we could even sometimes scan that just to make life a little more complicated. But let's just, this particular, shall I put stress related to root chakra? Our root chakra balance?
Root chakra, yeah.
Root chakra.
I would say root chakra clearing. Yeah.
Root chakra clearing and balance.
Because everybody carries stuff from even coming in, being born.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. And a few thoughts just came by and last night, and some things I tested here that we might want to look at in reference. We're going to be really looking at these subtle bodies, and there's a couple of stresses that might be relieved if we understood a little bit more about the power of vibration. For example, here's an interesting code. In the paralysis of dread of the future, you think that might cause a little stress? Greater courage for the future, because our predictions for what we can accomplish are extremely positive. We've got some great tools, and our minds in particular. But this was an interesting thing. I just want to share this, not to get negative. This is not the point. But there does seem to be some chaos that is intentionally created. And the reason I say this is it's written about. We'll see it. If you are a reader, you will see where they themselves talk about this. And there are 4 categories, and all of these would be, in my opinion anyway, somewhat stress-inducing. Feeling alone and isolated, feeling no mission. It's just one thing to the next, but no mission. What they call free-floating anxiety, and then free-floating frustration and aggression. This is actually written about by this group right here as a part of a way to get us in line. So we're not talking conspiracy. It comes from them. So for curiosity, I went in. I'm not sure which place I tested it. Might be here. Yeah, okay, so I asked if we could put this in the super clearer, and you can see we have an 82% benefit. And I also, on the other client group scan, asked if this should be a part of our startup session to see if that does need any clearing, and I'll show you that number in a minute. Let's just see.
thinking we should do it as clearing and balance.
We can do that. Yeah, I think I have clearing and balance in there.
Oh, good. Okay.
I think that's what I put. I'll check in a minute. But so you see, we don't need much of this energy. We don't, that's why I like to test. We don't always have to put the 24 hours in. In fact, we may just need minutes for this.
You did put in there balance and him.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, 30 minutes. And what I did is I put to whom it may concern. Because again, everybody has their own path and we don't want to interfere with that. So I just put to whom it may concern. Because there's some powerful lessons that can be learned from any of these things that maybe we need to learn. So let's just give it 30 minutes. And I do have it in the startup scan as well. I'll show you. Minimize that. Nope, never mind. That's not in. I don't know where I tested it, but oh, that's duh. Sorry. Okay. All right. Priority for startup scan clear, stress related to, and then I've got that out there, and it's an 89. So it might be that when it comes up, we do want to work with that. Okay, so yeah, here's root chakra, clearing and balance. Let's just hit the wonder click and see what information we get. Okay, so look at that right up at the top, and I find that interesting, is the candida. And we know everything has a consciousness, but these various bacteria have, and especially candida, that's interesting information if you read about the way it can actually control behavior. But we can go in here. Let's just see while that's doing its thing. Stress related to candida. And so let's just go ahead and enter that. Deficiencies and weaknesses. We need to soon go into the nutritional, kind of taking that direction, the replenishment of qi. Again, here's that thymus, so we want to continue with the tapping of the thymus, overall body. Now this black magic correction could very well be all of the energy we're surrounded by, the 5G, et cetera, which, you know, has a good side and a bad side. We wouldn't be here right now together being able to share information without it, and that falls into the natural law, but we may want to do some looking for some ways to protect ourselves from the negative aspects. There we're actually bringing up the root chakra here. So we're looking, this is a lifelong quest for true self. Let's amp that up. This inflammation, that's one of the things I was reading the other day, just look at that. I think I'm spelling this right, but these are the emotions that set these whatever cytokines off, which then create inflammation. And so every now and then, it didn't register for being in the startup scan, but your emotions, especially the anger and fear, we're doing pretty good as a group here at this moment in time. This pericardium, that particular organ, when that comes up, a lot of people believe that is in reference to relationships. Repression, impatient. There again, that stress factor with the fluids. So it looks like many of us need to be drinking more water. People tend to make rules for others and exceptions for themselves. No question about that. Dread, let's just look at that. We can, again, kind of what is creating, I think, some real physical problems even. And I don't think we have any reason to dread. Let's just take that down a little bit. Look at that, petrified. Oh my goodness. As your root chakra is, and some of you in here are very well schooled on all this, so please step in. But the root chakra is your security.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I've
So,
done that.
Let's just go ahead and put that in the Gong. Doesn't seem to serve anything. Look at that, hardened. Fearful delusions and paranoia. Let's just look at that. Remember from yesterday, it's our imagination, the overactive imagination, because our body doesn't know the difference, they say. And again, as a group, it's not a real high number, but it's there. We're wanting to clear it. One of the things, a lot of times, I believe, is that when this comes up, it means your field is already working on it. So, in other words, it's a positive. It says, okay, the field is now aware of this, and it's doing its balancing, and we're sending a little information to assist with that. That content looks pretty good. That's another thing they say is, one, as you know, this group knows, one of the most powerful things you can do is the gratitude. And we're pretty much up there with that, it looks like. And then stress related to chi, just low. We want that voltage up or vibration or whatever you want to call it. And traditional Chinese medicine, which is kind of what we're stepping into. We've got a combination of that. Now, there's that dry again. Interesting. Stress related to blood. Let's look at that. Might be something we want to go a little deeper with in coming days. Significant. We may want to do some scans and get some more information, do some balancing. Words to ponder. Avoid altercations always. Blunt, whining. And again, this group knows this complaining and whining. I call it the kiss of death. And let's just see where we are. We can do without that. Have a conscious awareness of it. Now, I got some good information from a member of the group yesterday on how she grounds, and I'll be sending that out today with our email. Very, very inspirational. And it looks like we do have to put our feet in some of nature and perhaps not concrete, as Annie mentioned. Renew life incentives and potentials. That might be good to see if we can get a code for that as well, if anybody wants to look on Grabavoy. Look at that. All right. Let's put that in there too. Decision making. And again, that traditional Chinese medicine. So as we do these things, just keeping it real simple today, a couple more things to think about. What, in a sense, and this, we've been very programmed against this stuff, but in a sense, we're doing shamanic work. But you have to understand what a shaman was known at. A shaman knew that everything was vibration, which we knew, and knew that you could do many things, including physical healing, by working with vibration. And that type of knowledge has never been that well received with the masses. But that's basically what it is. And with our technology, what we're doing is we're scientifically interacting with that. Let's see how we feel about that as a group, because that is what we're doing. Where'd you go? Sorry about that. In some of the reading I've done, I don't know about anybody else, looks like there has been somewhat of an effort to even wipe out some of the shamans. You can read up on that for yourself. It's thought-provoking. Look, see, we still may have a little bit of resistance to this because of our own programming, maybe not those in this group, but in general. And I know years ago before I was blessed to meet Joanna, I tried so many times to get a web page going, and one guy took my money, but then he said, "Oh no, I can't do this, I'm a Christian." And I said, "Well, turn off your electricity then. Get rid of your cell phone, etc." So people still may not understand. Let's look in here. Chen.
When you say that, I understand what you're saying about that.
So go a little bit further with that to explain what you mean.
When you say that, you said he can't do that because he's a Christian.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, yeah. But yeah, we had another member of the group who had offered some energy work to a friend, and the friend sent her a letter, saying, "No, I'm Christian," and da-da-da. And yet, if you really, we've talked about this before, study what Jesus said. He was talking about that very thing, the light, subtle bodies, all these different things that people, at that time, the consciousness was lower. Our consciousness has really accelerated. So more are open to this. But I would say still, because this involves the unseen world, we still, on many levels, maybe not a conscious level, but on some of these other subtle levels, we're still not sure.
Well, the printing press was high tech at one time.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and as we all know, if you predicted television before its time, that would have driven people crazy. They would have been very alarmed.
I have a question. Am I able to raise the consciousness of a group?
Well, my own opinion, if they are requesting, sorry about that, if they are requesting that kind of work, and I'm going to show you a couple things in a minute that are going to be factors in that. If they're requesting, what I've seen with my own life is doing this kind of work every day completely transforms it, because you're clearing, as far as I see it, we're in this wonderful field of information set in place for us to thrive. And it may have been hacked in some ways. We may be much more like software than we realize. And but as you clear that stress, I do believe your life transforms. You begin to have many synchronicities, for one thing. And so, yeah, as long as they are a member of the group willingly, I think that's wonderful. Because that's the whole deal. The voltage, whatever you want to call it. Somebody the other day said, well, voltage, that's maybe too physical. So that could be. So call it vibration, call it consciousness. But it's basically the neurons getting closer together in this physical body we have, according to what I've read. So in other words, it's not magic. It's just these subtle bodies are various levels of intelligence.
Well, let me tell you this. I know Raymond Grace mentions the fact that if a person's consciousness level is below 200, there's not a whole lot you can do with them.
Interesting. And I know he knows his stuff. I think we can move forward and clear. But yeah, I'll show you in a minute a couple of thoughts on that. I found this code attuned to the 7 dimensions. I thought, let's go ahead and see where we are with that. Yeah, I definitely want to do more the Raymond Grace this year, because he is amazing.
You can say that again.
Yep.
One of my favorite teachers.
Yes. So here, just a few thoughts. And this was sent out a long time ago, and I thought we'd just revisit it. We know we're working with the SRC, with the etheric body, which connects. This is our conduit for our physical body and all these subtle bodies. And so it needs to be strong. If it's not, then that's when some of the issues in the subtle bodies may appear physically. This is kind of just thought-provoking. The emotional body enters through the stomach, mental through the left brain, astral through the kidneys. So these are all things we want to perhaps reevaluate. Then you've got the causal body, and here you go right here, medulla oblongata. And this is linking your personality with collective consciousness. So in other words, that's kind of where we go on a physical level. Let's just take a look and see where we are with that. Let's put voltage in there for the heck of it. Well, see, we could amp that up a little bit, energetically, just stress-wise. And then we've got the soul body, which is, they say, related to the pineal. And that we talked the other day about calcification. I was really happy the scheduler actually is working. It popped up. I'm never sure if I've done it right, but it is clearing us every 2 weeks in reference to calcification. But they say that's a big deal. Let's just look at stress related to pineal. Might not be a bad idea to investigate that down the road. And we got the pituitary. And I've got one person that wants something like 332 acupunctures for pituitary. So that's a big deal. Notice we have been asking for a lot of balancing of glands. Again, as a group, it doesn't look too much of a high level right now. But what affects all this is the right brain, they say. And we get into the aura. To me, the aura is the etheric field, but it talks here just a little something to study if you want to on your own, give it some thought. This is something I'm not familiar with, but I found a code for it. It says it's a part of the etheric field that surrounds every cell, the vehicle to feed life force into every cell. All connective tissue degeneration involves misalignment of ethereal fluidium. I just want to include that for your own reference. The thermal body, which is a force field around the physical body that is controlled by the heat of the physical body, and the thyroid here. So you can see maybe why we are asking for so much in reference to these glands and what else we might have to learn about that. Let's just see how we resonate with making beneficial vibratory changes with the equipment we have. Let's see where we are with that. I think that's respectable. Just here we have a code for strength, and I think that these have been sent out before, but it's gonna. I think we're looking pretty good. And so, again, back to the shamans. Here's our base root cocktail, which we'll take a look. Let's just see if we have a priority for that. I meant to do that at first and got sidetracked. Yeah, right on the line. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. And finally, though, in reference, Ron, to your question, we can get blocked even with our best of intentions. Here are a few things that can block our work. Stress in general terms, lack of B vitamins, weak spinal column, heavy metals, anemia, aluminum, steroids, caffeine, alcohol, and poor diet. Let's just look at this moment in time and see how we as a group are on that. And these are things that we're going to have to do and, change some habits, which are tightly locked in very often. Well, there's that caffeine. That's probably me. So other than caffeine, at this moment in time, the group is doing great. And I just want to, if I can find these notes, let me see if I want to show you what we were doing yesterday with bacteria and continue, if I can figure out where I put all this. Wait a minute, get up here. I've got too much personal in here, so I can't show it. But what we wanted yesterday, of all things, was the sustenance balancer in reference to skin for bacteria. And so I went down and did all these lists, or, entries. But then after that, just a general bacteria cocktail in here. So I'm going to do that later today, but it was like a 97% benefit to do this skin. I'm going to show you right now in reference to bacteria. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
It's defensive chi.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll just go up here. And I just added that cocktail to the sustenance balancer.
What does that mean, Kevin?
It's your shield,
Mm-hmm.
your environmental shield.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive chi.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
We're well equipped to do what we need to do. And it's very impressive what we have at our, and again, we just have to manage our stress to access it. So we're taking a minute. What I've been doing is, and again, everybody will have their own ways. I do a minute, and then I do go back in and check to see, and if we go up, then I will do it again. And so that's why it takes a little longer. But as an example, you can take any issue and test for priority for chi. And very often, dental issues, for example, do the dental scan, test the priority to send all that through this. It goes into your food, your water, your supplements, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I've seen some amazing results. People coming down with the flu, what does it hurt to send them a little energy of vitamin C this way, et cetera. Well, let's see if a 1 minute is enough. No, now we're going to take 10. This was a big deal. So I just wanted to share that with you. Other than that, it looks like that's it for today. Anything to add? Looks like that's it then. I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thanks, Cathy.
Thank you,
Have a great
Cathy.
day.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too.
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call. Thank you for being part of this session. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.